So good morning, dear respected Thai, dear brothers and sisters and dear friends. Today is Sunday, the 18th of December in the year 2016, and we are in the new Hamlet. In this winter retreat, we are looking at the Noble Eightfold Path, and today I would like to share with you a little bit about right livelihood. Last week, Brother Fablai spoke about right action and mentioned something about right livelihood and monastics. So as I sat down here, the thought came to me, am I practicing right livelihood right now? And in my mind, I see the Buddha going out on alms round, receiving alms to be nourished, and the Buddha will offer the Dharma. There's an exchange of dana and Dharma. So I guess I am continuing, we are all continuing the career of the Buddha, and the Buddha practices right livelihood, offering Dharma for dana. So I guess that I'm practicing right livelihood. It is possible for monastics. So the Noble Eightfold Path, they are at times, or the Noble Eightfold Path is at times presented in three groups. One group for ethics, Shila. One group for samadhi, concentration, and one group for prajna, insight. Shila, or the Mindfulness Trainings, Thai teaches us that the Mindfulness Trainings are a very concrete expression of mindfulness. And the logo of Plum Village is Smriti, which is mindfulness, Samadhi, concentration, Prajna, insight. So I would like to maybe start with sharing with you how the 8 elements of the Noble Eightfold Path are divided up in those 3 groups. Maybe I'll write them on the board. Big and small into R. Right view, right livelihood. One or two? One. Mindfulness. Right speech. Right thinking. Usually we present them in a circle. So for ethics, we have right view and right thinking. Shila. Excuse me. I'm trying to look at the paper instead of looking into my mind. Right speech, right action, right livelihood is ethics. Shila. Right concentration, right mindfulness, right effort is right concentration, samadhi. Right view, right thinking is prajna, insight. When our way of living is ethical, if it goes in the direction of non-violence for ourselves and others, we feel joyful, we have energy, we're happy. And this is very easy for ourselves to check. Right speech, for instance. If the first thing we said to the person we met in the morning was kind, loving, understanding, you feel well, right? Then we go to work. We feel happy and joyful. When we feel happy and joyful, it's very easy to concentrate, to have concentration. When we have concentration, we can look deeply and we get insight. If the first thing we say when we get up in the morning makes another person feel awful, we will also feel awful. We may go to work, but somewhere in the depths of our mind is this uneasy feeling. We have concentration, but it may not be the same kind of concentration we have when we're happy and at ease. When we look at this path, the Noble Eightfold Path, you can ask the question, where to enter? What is the entry into the Noble Eightfold Path? Mindfulness. That's the door to which we enter the Noble Eightfold Path. When we practice mindfulness, we're bringing our mind home to our body. And there is a saying that goes, working from home Right? I like to think about living from home. Bring my mind home to my body, and I live from that place of being aware. When we go back to ourselves, bring our mind home to our body, we will notice what is happening inside of us and around us. And we will have the clarity and the calm in order to know how to respond to what is happening inside of us and around us. Not just around us in our direct environment, but also to the world and society at large. So let's practice with the bell and do exactly that. Bring our mind home to our body, and we will be able to find out what is happening inside of us. What are we doing, body and mind, and how are we doing it? There are two aspects, what and how. So make yourself comfortable. And bring your mind home to your body to sort of sink into the present moment and just become aware of what is happening inside of us, in our body and mind. So to stop being carried away by our thinking, our feelings, our emotions, and coming home to our body is the foundation of our practice of the Noble Eightfold Path. Traditionally, right livelihood is described as having a profession that does not harm human beings, animals, nature, Mother Earth. It doesn't cause any harm physically or mentally, morally. Which means not to deal in weapons. This is how it's mentioned. Not to slaughter animals for consumption, doing the meat. Not to deal in poisons or drugs. No human trafficking, for instance. And today I would like to look a little bit at right livelihood in the light of our mindfulness trainings. We have the 5 mindfulness trainings and the 14 mindfulness trainings of the order of interbeing. Right livelihood is looking at how we're making a contribution to the world. How do we interact with the world at large? And also looking to see and to become aware of the impact we have on the world. So that we can go in the direction of non-violence, not harming ourselves, others, animals, Mother Nature. We practice being responsible citizens and consumers. So, right livelihood. There are two calligraphies by Thai that for me express very beautifully a state of mind that helps us to go in the direction of right livelihood. And one is, you have enough. I think we can all see how that relates to right livelihood. As well as, happiness is not an individual matter. We have enough. We do not take more from others and from Mother Nature. We do not take more from others and Mother Nature than we need. And we share what we have with others. We don't take what belongs to them. These two calligraphies help us to look deeply into our livelihood. When we look at the 5 mindfulness trainings, they give us guidelines for our actions of body, speech. Throughout the day, we make many choices. What to do, what not to do, what to say, what not to say, what to buy, what not to buy, where to go, where not to go, how not to go. We make choices throughout the day, the whole time. And the 5 mindfulness trainings are a very good point of reference, a guidance for us to make choices that enhance not only our own well-being, but also the well-being of others, as well as the Mother Earth. So the first mindfulness training has the name Reverence for Life. And we practice protecting life. The second one is True Happiness. We practice sharing our time and our energy with others and material resources. True love, to live in a committed relationship. And we practice deep listening and loving speech to keep our relationships happy. And mindful consumption as nourishment and healing for a healthy living. The 40 mindfulness trainings of the Order of Interbeing reflect the Noble Eightfold Path. The Noble Eightfold Paths, when we write them in a list, they start usually with the mind. Right view, right thinking. And the 40 mindfulness trainings also start with the mind. We have 7 mindfulness trainings that are related to our mind. I brought the book. Maybe we'll read something from that a little later. The first 3 mindfulness trainings of the Order of Interbeing speak about our attitude of mind. What kind of attitude do we have? The first one is openness. We call it openness. And that is not to be bound to any doctrine. So many wars have been waged because of doctrines that we hold on to for many, many decades. So doctrines or ideologies. The second one is non-attachment to views, to be open to other people's views and opinions. To be inclusive, to go in the direction of a collective insight. The third one is freedom of thought. We do not impose our views onto others. Everyone has the right to look deeply and to decide for themselves what to do, how to be, what to choose, and what to believe. What to believe. Freedom of thought. When we look into these mindfulness trainings, we see that also a lot of suffering has been caused by not allowing others to choose what to believe. And the fourth and the seventh, they speak about a personal practice. We learn to take care of our suffering, to look deeply into our suffering, and look into the suffering of the world. And for the fifth, we go in the direction of healthy living. And for the sixth, we take care of our mind. These are all personal practices, yeah? Like we take care of anger, for instance. And that can be anger, irritation, upset. Can also be anger. We take care of our anger. And the seventh, how we can dwell happily in the present moment. And the eighth and the ninth are about communion and communication and truthful and loving speech. It's about interactions that we have with others. And the 10th to the 14th are for acting in society. We protect and nourish the Sangha. To bring about a change in society, we need the Sangha. We can't do it alone. So a Sangha is a precious jewel. It's a place of refuge. It's where we get the support. We all know already that we may be on this path of mindfulness. And when we go home, then we look for others who also practice the same thing. Because standing alone in society is not so easy. But having a Sangha to practice with, we're able to stand by the choices we make in our life. As a Sangha, we can do it. The 11th mindfulness training speaks of right livelihood. The 12th about reverence for life. The 13th about generosity. And the 14th about right conduct, about our intimate relationships, true love. So when we look at the Noble Eightfold Path, we will find the 14 mindfulness trainings. When we look at the 14 mindfulness trainings, we will find all the elements of the Noble Eightfold Path. We're looking into the mindfulness trainings so we can understand ourselves better. We all want to go in the direction of happiness, not only for ourselves, but for all others. And looking into ourselves in the light of the 5 mindfulness trainings, we can see how we can enhance our practice of going in a direction of non-violence and true happiness. Right livelihood is expressed also in the way we think and in the way we speak and how we spend our time, energy. At this point, I would like to read the 11th mindfulness training. Right livelihood. Aware that great violence and injustice have been done to our environment and society, we are committed not to live with a vocation that is harmful to humans and nature. We will do our best to select a livelihood that contributes to the well-being of all species on Earth and helps realize our ideal of understanding and compassion. Aware of economic, political, and social realities around the world, as well as our interrelationship with the ecosystem, we are determined to behave responsibly as consumers and as citizens. We will not invest in or purchase from companies that contribute to the depletion of natural resources, harm the earth, and deprive others of their chance to live. So in this training, we see very clearly that it is not just what we do as a profession, but also how do we live? What are the choices that we make? As I said before, choices that may choices that support others in their livelihood. For instance, if we are a teacher, we have the heart to nurture our students in a way that will give rise to compassion and understanding in them. We can say we have a right livelihood. And then afterwards we go to the supermarket and we put things in our basket. We may use products that have chemicals that pollute the environment. And as long as we put those articles in our basket, they will be produced. So in that way, we are supporting a livelihood of someone else that pollutes the environment. And when we look at that way, the choices we make in our life, we can clearly see that right livelihood is not an individual matter. It is a collective matter. And if we want to bring about a change, then we need a collective awakening. Maybe we can have a bell before we continue. All our actions of body or speech or mind have an effect on other people. So when we go to work, go to the office or wherever we may be working, the way we interact with others has an effect on others. So we can practice right livelihood through the way we speak. We speak from understanding and compassion. Others will build up trust in us. They will be able to listen in us, to listen to us. They will open up to us. And they may see how we live. They may become aware what choices we make. And this may inspire them to look at their choices. When we practice being open to their views, to allow them to believe what they want to believe, all that is part of right livelihood. Right livelihood is not just the actual work that we do. When I was much younger, somewhere 20 or so years old, I did some job to earn some money in my holiday. So I went to one of those offices where you get a temporary job, parents' office. And one day I was sent to an advertising agency. Since I can type, they asked me to type the notes of the meeting they had the day before because their secretary was sick. I was replacing the secretary. So as I was typing these notes, there was a sentence, one input from one member that was sort of in the direction of, we really would like this product to sell. We cannot straight out say it's much better than other products because actually it's not exactly the case. But we like to word it in a way that it sounds that it is better. But we cannot say it's better, but we word it so it sounds that it's better. So I type up all the notes. I had to breathe when it came to that part, you may understand. And then I went to, when I was ready, I went to the person who had asked me to type, and I gave it back. And she said, okay, well, that's all for today. And I said, thank you very much. And I didn't bow because I said, thank you very much. And I said, have a nice day. And I left. And on the way to the station, I stopped at the agency and I said, I don't think I'll go back there. Could you please give me something else to do? And the lady said, no. They want somebody for X number of days, and that is what we give you. I said, well, then I'm sorry, I cannot take it. And she said, I'll go somewhere else, I said. And she said, you may not find anything else to do, and you may not find something else to do elsewhere. And I said, it's okay. And I thought, I'll find a job, I'll clean toilets. But I don't feel comfortable in this working for this company. So I went home and I told my mother, don't believe anything you see in an ad. You know? At that time, I didn't realize I could have gone back. The people were very nice. And maybe at some way or another, I could have helped them raise their awareness, of right livelihood. They're there, they need a job, they have a family to feed. They are doing their best. I still type things from time to time, but it is all about the Dharma. So I feel very comfortable typing it. But this is just to say that if we are in a job, we need a job, we need something to do, we need to have some bread on our plate, or rice. What impact do we have on the world and the people around us? And this is not about going about and moralizing, going about and telling everybody they're not ethical, etc. But what is our intention in life? From where do we live? What is our intention when we interact with our co-workers? What do we water in them? Do we water something in them that helps all of us to go in the direction of non-harming, non-violence? What do we do? As teachers, we can do many things. As a secretary, we can do many things. Maybe one day we will be the director of the company. And we can look and see what kind of products or how would we like to promote on the market. There's many, many possibilities to practice right livelihood. Today, we have a little bit a different program for this morning. Not quite the same as the days before. I've just shared a little bit with you about right livelihood for you to reflect on how to bring this aspect into your daily life, or to say how to bring a spiritual dimension in your daily life through the practice of the Noble Eightfold Path, maybe the 5 mindfulness trainings and the 14 mindfulness trainings of the Order of Interbeing. Maybe we can enjoy the sound of the bell. To go in the direction of non-harming In Plum village, we also follow this path. When I first came to Plum village, we were vegetarian. We had cheese. In France, at that time at least, you could buy a bar of cheese, a square bar about this size. Yeah. And on the table in the morning, there were neatly cut slices of square cheese. Square slices of cheese that we could have. And then, when we became aware of the dairy industry, we became vegan. And we're going in the direction of being totally vegan. Slowly also we became aware of the impact on the earth of the products that we use in our hamlets. So we looked into biodegradable products, and we are still going in the direction. Sometimes we have many, sometimes a little bit less, but we're going in the direction, and that's very important. Nowadays, when we travel from one hamlet to another, we have buses. Before, we asked everybody to please use their car and fill them up with people. So we realized that's many cars. So now we use buses. At least it's one big vehicle for many people to go into. We're going in the direction of trying to combine trips to the town. This usually works around Christmas. When we have one day where we can go and buy some material to make some presents if we don't find the materials here. So the important mindset is to go in the direction. To go in the direction is very compassionate. It also avoids us from becoming dogmatic. We go in the direction of right livelihood. The Buddha walked everywhere. For us, it's a bit far to walk from the lower hamlet and upper hamlet to the new hamlet. So we drive. We also try to look into vehicles that are not so polluting for the environment. So the choices we make are very important. When we have a profession that is in the media, we reach many, many people. It's very clear the impact we have on the world. When we are an artist, we also reach many people. We also have an impact on the world. We know that art has always been a messenger to educate the people. So for today, we have invited 2 of our friends, 2 practitioners, to share with us a little bit about their personal spiritual journey. So I would like to invite Paz and Joe and Sister True Dedication, who will be the facilitator of this part of our program.